has nothing to do with being famous. In order to be a success, you're gonna fail. And that's just the truth. Because how do you know which way to go if you don't at least try it? So okay, say for instance, and I used this analogy the other day. Say for instance, you're driving somewhere. You've never been to this city before. You take a wrong turn. You get lost. So what do?
Well, you look up stuff and try to find your way back.
Okay? Same thing. You look up stuff, you try to find your way back. So if you're working a project and you don't get it right, then you go back and see where you messed up at. And you come back and do it right. It's not a big deal. A lot of times kids fail in school. And sometimes it's because they don't apply themselves. But a lot of times it's because they didn't try. They got to a point and they just said, and we as adults, we do the same thing. We're no different than you. In life, in business, just say, for instance, I just went through this big thing with this company. And it wasn't a good thing. And I could have, once I found out it was a mess, I could have just said, you know what? I'm not doing nothing no more. I quit. I'm quitting life. I'm quitting my business. I'm just not going to do it. But I didn't. I thought about it for a little bit. Wasn't very long. And then I just decided, I said, okay, Lord, where do I go from here? What do I do now? This was a complete failure. But it really wasn't. Because every time that God sends you to something, He's going to take you through it. But when you go through, you're going to pick up some stuff along the way. So let's say, for instance, you were doing that math problem. You didn't know how to do it. But once you decided, oh, it's not going to do it, it's not going to work. Once you figured it out, now you got it. If you ever have that problem again, you know how to do it. So that's how life is. When you go through something and you don't get it right, when you get back to it again, you know how it works.
My daddy taught me these three-digit numbers, numbers, and then when I went to school, we was learning about that, and they gave us a paper with 15 of them on there, and I got them all right.
I'm all right. Yeah, and that's what it's about, is preparation. You have to prepare yourself for everything, Alyse. In school, yeah, you might get frustrated. You're a little kid, and we as adults think, well, kids shouldn't have no problems. We're paying all the bills. All you got to do is go to school. But that's not true. Even as kids, you have issues. And as parents, sometimes we need to sit down and listen to what your issues are. And then we can say, okay, well, let me give you this. Here's what you can do. Or here's what you can think about. So like we're sitting here talking now, and you asking me all of these questions, it kind of brought back memories of some stuff that I had forgotten or didn't even think about until you asked me the questions. And just by you turning off your recorder and say, well, I really don't want to record anymore. I just want to know some of these questions because you're interesting. Well, that makes me feel good. Because that I feel like I have something to input into you. And that makes me feel great because I'm giving something back. So now you carry away a lot of my childhood information that you may remember or you may not. But if asked, you can say, oh, I know what my granny liked. My granny loved kickball. My granny loved to shoot marbles, so she was the marble champion. See, a lot of people didn't know that. Because nobody ever took time and asked me about what I felt. How did she feel in school? Well, she was bashful, shy. Yeah, So nobody ever asked me that. But the way I feel about failure is nothing beats a failure but a try. The only time you're a real failure is if you never try nothing. So when your teacher says to you, now I got questions for you. Your teacher says, Alyse, you all got to do an interview. How did you feel about that?
Well, okay, so when he said that I needed to do an interview, I was like, okay, I can do this. And then he showed us this piece of paper with all these questions on here, and I was like, what are we supposed to do with all this? And how am I supposed to come up with all these questions, 6 questions, and most of them is already on here. So I don't know what to put down. And then my mom was like, okay, then we just spend 2 days trying to think of 6 questions to ask you. And I was like, I can't think of anything. So I might just put down these questions or something because I still don't know what to do. I tried. I really don't know.
But you did. You came up with questions.
I came up with 3.
You came up with 3, but even through those 3, you asked me some other questions. And even some of them might have been on the paper, but a few of them that you asked me wasn't on that paper. They came out of your head. See, so what happens is just the fact that you're asking the question brings your memory, like there's something else I want to know. Well, Granny, how about this? You know, like why do you do music? Why do you like it? What songs do you really like? Nah, I don't want that. I want one song. I don't have one song, dude. So from that came other questions. So from even down to all of these questions in the middle. And it told you to choose 15 questions. You asked me every question on that page. But from that, just like now, you know where your daddy's name came from. It came from a monkey. Guarantee you didn't know that. I bet you don't know where his name came from. He might know it was from that song because I think he asked me before and I told him. But you know, it's not always easy, but it's worth it, and that's what I say. You know, life is not easy. I've been through a lot of stuff, and people might look at me and say, "Well, dog, she ain't got nothing." I got a lot, cause I got you all, and my family means everything to me. You know, you my boo. My family means everything. I have 10 grandkids. Oh my God, and 4 great grandchildren. And I love all of y'all. All of y'all the same. I don't love one no more than the other. But y'all very special to me, and that's why I work so hard. Because, you know, I got to get something back. And just to sit around with y'all is just great. All the grandparents don't do that. They don't have time. You know, play with y'all, kick it with y'all, dance, you know, do the dance thing, you know, just dance and beat you. Yeah, it's time for you to come back and get a rematch.
Just to see me communicating with my family makes me smile every day. Just to think about you makes me, you know, get going every day.
Aw, that's nice. You're gonna make me cry. Oh. That's great. That's great, and it's good. It's good, and you can have so much in you that you can give other people.
I have room for everybody. I have room for everybody's love. Everybody that just if they like, if you say something negative, I still love you no matter what. Like if you say that you don't like something about somebody, I'm like, well, that's your opinion. I'm not gonna argue with you. Then that's what you don't like about that. Then that's fine.
It ain't fine. I ain't fine. I done seen you get mad.
I know I do sometimes because I see what people do, and it's wrong. I understand that what they do is wrong, and I try to help them and not to